The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, laughter, and champagne, but one moment would shatter it all. A black woman, elegantly dressed, stood quietly, smiling as her husband mingled. Then, without warning, he spat on her. The room froze, shocked silence filling the air. Whispers circled like vultures. But what stunned her most wasn't the humiliation. It was the audacity of his ignorance. He had no idea who she really was. He didn't know the empire she quietly commanded, the company that employed his secret lover. In an instant, betrayal, racism, and power collided. How could someone so close, so intimate, fail to see her? And what she did next would leave everyone speechless. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. From the outside, Naomi appeared to live a perfect life. As a successful CEO of a tech company she had built from scratch, she exuded confidence and grace. Her husband, a charming but arrogant man, was known for his social connections and flirtations. To the world, they were a power couple, admired and envied. But behind closed doors, cracks had begun to show. His late-night texts, his distant glances, the quiet tension she had learned to ignore. This evening was meant to be a celebration, a high-profile gala for the city's most influential figures. Naomi arrived in a sleek black gown, heels clicking against the marble floor, mask of composure firmly in place. She carried her pride like armor, knowing too well how society judged her. Subtle racism, assumptions about her capabilities, and dismissive glances had followed her throughout her career. Yet tonight nothing would prepare her for the personal betrayal waiting in the crowd. She had no idea that the man she had vowed to trust would humiliate her publicly, and she certainly did not yet realize the shocking twist of fate about to unfold. The gala sparkled with wealth and influence. Naomi's smile was flawless as she greeted acquaintances, her mind tracking her husband's every interaction. Then she saw it. The woman laughing too loudly at his jokes, leaning too close, a hand brushing his arm with intimacy. Naomi's stomach twisted. This wasn't the first time she had suspected something, but the brazenness tonight ignited a fire she couldn't ignore. As her husband turned toward her, a drunken smirk on his face, the unthinkable happened. Words were unnecessary. His hand flung and saliva hit her cheek. Shock froze her, the room dissolving into blurred whispers. Gasps, murmurs, and a few nervous laughs filled the silence. But Naomi's mind was clear. He didn't see her. He couldn't see her because to him she was just the black woman in a dress, the shadow of his glamorous life. And yet in that moment, the irony was lethal. Naomi's company had been his mistress's employer for months, though he had no idea. The woman he flirted with, the one he thought was untouchable, owed everything to Naomi's vision, her leadership, her determination. Naomi's anger was tempered with a calculated calm. The injustice of racism and betrayal collided in one brutal scene. He had disrespected her publicly, underestimating her power, her identity, and her control. Instead of reacting immediately, Naomi let him stew in ignorance. Cameras flashed. Guests whispered. Naomi's hand touched her cheek and she felt the sting and humiliation, yet a quiet resolve settled in her chest. She would not let this moment define her. She had seen too much, endured too much to allow his arrogance to overshadow her. The room didn't understand yet, but soon they would. And when they did, the fallout would be unforgettable. Naomi stepped forward, her heels echoing like a drumbeat of judgment. Silence descended. All eyes turned toward her. The man who had spat, frozen in shock, realized too late the mistake he had made. He saw the poise, the undeniable authority in her posture, the power he had ignored. Naomi raised a hand, not to strike, but to signal her dominance in the only way that mattered, control over the truth. The cameras caught every second. Guests leaned in. The whispers transformed into awe. Naomi revealed, without raising her voice, that she owned the company that employed his mistress, the very woman he had been flaunting. The room gasped. He had humiliated her, attempted to belittle her, and failed to grasp her power in a single devastating act of ignorance and prejudice. His secret floundered in public view. In that moment, Naomi wasn't just a victim. She became the arbiter of justice, the embodiment of dignity confronting both betrayal and racial disrespect. By the end of the night, Naomi had reclaimed the narrative. Social media exploded with footage of the incident, praising her composure and condemning her husband's arrogance. Invitations he thought were privileges were withdrawn, alliances severed. Naomi didn't need to yell, to retaliate physically, or to beg for acknowledgement. Her identity, her authority, and her presence spoke louder than any act of violence could. For Naomi, the incident left a scar, but also a lesson. She had endured racism, subtle and overt, in boardrooms, in social events, in whispers behind closed doors. Tonight, the world witnessed the collision of personal betrayal and systemic bias, all unfolding in one dramatic moment. It was a reminder that prejudice often blinds those who wield privilege, and that power can be invisible until recognized. Her husband. He had underestimated the woman he married, failed to see her humanity, her achievements, her authority. The crowd watched him shrink, a cautionary tale of arrogance and ignorance. Naomi walked away, heels clicking against the marble floor, head held high, knowing that dignity and justice are often the quietest but most formidable forces. And for viewers, the story leaves a question. How often do we underestimate people because of race, appearance, or assumptions? And what would happen if they revealed their true power? Naomi's story is one of courage, resilience, and unyielding authority. Where are you watching from? Which city and country holds this story in its streets tonight? Take care.